My name is Eleanor May Thompson, and Lord help me, even at 65, the pain still claws at my chest like a wild animal trapped inside. I sit here on this weathered porch in Charleston, South Carolina, the evening breeze carrying the salty scent of the ocean, but it does nothing to wash away the memories that haunt me. My hands, once smooth and steady from grading papers, are now gnarled with age and arthritis, trembling as I clutch a faded photograph of my Jack. He was my everything, my rock, my laughter, my forever. But forever ended too soon when I was just 35, leaving me adrift in a sea of grief with 4 little ones clinging to me for dear life. Tommy was 16, already trying to fill shoes too big for him. Sarah, 14, her eyes wide with confusion and rage. Billy, 11, so quiet it broke my heart. And my baby Lizzie, only 9, still believing Daddy would come back if she prayed hard enough. I was a school teacher back then. They called me beautiful, long auburn hair, green eyes that sparkled, a figure that drew stares. Men swarmed like moths to a flame, but my heart was loyal, chained to Jack's memory and my children's future. Oh, how I wish loyalty could have shielded us from the cruelty that followed. His family tossed us out like garbage, and we wandered from rental to rental, city to city, running from shadows that threatened to swallow us whole. My babies grew up strong, successful, and now they cradle me in comfort. But the scars run deep, etched into my soul with every tear I shed in silence. It started on that fateful autumn morning in 1995 in our cozy home in Richmond, Virginia. The leaves were turning gold and crimson, crunching underfoot like brittle bones. Jack was up early, as always, whistling an old Johnny Cash tune while he packed his lunch. He was 38, broad-shouldered and handsome, with calloused hands that could mend a car or mend my worries with a single touch. We'd built a life together, high school sweethearts who eloped at 18, defying everyone's doubts. 17 years of marriage, 4 beautiful children, a house filled with the aroma of my apple pies and the sound of their laughter. But that day, as he kissed me goodbye, his face went ashen. "Ellie, my chest," he gasped, collapsing onto the kitchen floor. I screamed, dropping to my knees, pounding on his chest like I'd seen in movies. "Jack, no! Please, God, no!" The kids rushed in, Tommy frozen in horror, Sarah wailing, Billy covering his ears, Lizzie clutching her doll and whispering, "Daddy?" Paramedics came, but it was too late. Massive heart attack, they said. His heart, the one that beat only for us, had betrayed him. The funeral was a nightmare I still relive in my dreams. Rain poured down like heaven's tears, soaking through my black dress as we stood by the grave. Tommy held the umbrella over me, his young shoulders shaking with silent sobs. "I should have helped him more, Mama," he choked out later. Sarah threw herself on the casket, screaming, "Why, Daddy? Why'd you leave us?" Billy drew a picture of our family, whole and happy, and slipped it into the coffin. Lizzie, oh, my poor Lizzie, she tugged at my skirt, her big blue eyes swimming with confusion. "When's Daddy coming home, Mama? He promised to read me a story tonight." I scooped her up, burying my face in her hair to hide my own breakdown. "He's with the angels now, baby, but he'll always watch over you." Lies, all lies, to shield them from the void that swallowed me whole. Grief was a monster that gnawed at us day and night, but the real hell came from Jack's kin. His brother Harlan and sister Marjorie had always resented me, the outsider from Baltimore who trapped their brother. With Jack gone, their masks fell. 3 days after the burial, they showed up at our door, Harlan's face twisted in greed, Marjorie's eyes cold as a winter grave. "This house ain't yours, Eleanor," Harlan spat, his breath sour with cheap liquor. "It's family blood. Pack up and get." I fell to my knees, begging through tears. "Please, for the children. This is all they have left of their daddy." Marjorie just sneered. "Jack's dead. You're nothing to us. 2 weeks or we'll call the sheriff." The kids overheard, their world crumbling again. Tommy punched the wall, blood trickling from his knuckles. "They're monsters, Mama." Sarah curled into a ball, rocking back and forth. Billy stopped speaking for days, his little face pale as a ghost. Lizzie clung to me, sobbing, "Don't let them take our home, Mama, please." We were evicted on a bitter November day, our belongings shoved into garbage bags and a rented truck. The neighbors watched, whispering pity, but no one helped. I drove away with tears blurring the road, the kids' silent cries echoing in my ears. We landed in Norfolk, in a cramped apartment above a noisy bar, walls stained with who knows what, roaches skittering across the floor. My teaching salary at the local elementary barely covered rent and ramen noodles. Nights were the worst. I'd lie awake hugging Jack's flannel shirt, inhaling his fading scent of grease and cologne. "How could you leave me, Jack? How am I supposed to do this alone?" The loneliness was a knife twisting in my gut, sharper than any hunger. At 35, I was still young and pretty, or so they said. Men noticed. Oh, how they noticed. The school janitor, the grocery clerk, even the pastor at church. Mr. Hargrove, the principal, a silver-haired widower, brought me flowers one day. "Eleanor, a woman as radiant as you deserves happiness," he murmured, his hand lingering on mine. I pulled away, my wedding ring burning like a brand. "I'm sorry, but my heart belongs to Jack." Others were bolder. Notes slipped under my door, invitations to dinner that felt like traps. One man, a parent named Roy, cornered me after class. "Your kids need a father figure. Let me in, Ellie." I shook my head, tears stinging. "No, I vowed forever." Loyalty wasn't easy. It was a chain that bound me, but it kept me from shattering completely. For my children, I'd endure anything. But the moves, God, the endless moves tore at our souls. Norfolk lasted 4 months before the landlord hiked the rent and whispers started. "That widow's too pretty to be single. She's asking for trouble." I couldn't risk it. We fled to Raleigh, North Carolina, a run-down duplex with rain leaking through the ceiling. I taught 3rd grade, smiling for the students while my own kids suffered. Tommy dropped out of sports to work at a diner, coming home exhausted, his hands raw from washing dishes. "For you, Mama," he'd say, handing over crumpled bills. But one night he broke down. "I hate this. I miss Dad so much it hurts." I held him as he sobbed, my own tears falling. Sarah turned rebellious, skipping school, her once bright eyes dulled by anger. "Why us, Mama? What did we do wrong?" She'd lash out, then apologize in floods of tears. Billy withdrew deeper, his drawings now filled with dark storms and faceless figures. "I can't remember Daddy's voice anymore," he whispered once, shattering my heart. Lizzie had night terrors, waking, screaming, "Daddy, don't go!" I'd rock her for hours, singing lullabies through my own sobs. Poverty ground us down like sandpaper on soft wood. In Raleigh, the electricity was cut off during a brutal winter storm. We huddled under blankets, teeth chattering, sharing body heat. "Tell us about Daddy, Mama," Lizzie begged as her breath fogged the air. I'd recount happy times, our picnic by the river where Jack proposed, down on one knee with a daisy ring, the day Tommy was born, Jack crying tears of joy, family road trips singing along to the radio. But the stories only amplified the loss. "I wish he was here to keep us warm," Sarah murmured. Food was scarce, bread and peanut butter for days, my stomach growling so the kids could eat. I pawned my jewelry, even Jack's watch, each item a piece of my soul sold away. "Forgive me, love," I'd whisper to his photo. Then came the real dangers. In Raleigh, a man named Earl fixated on me. He followed me from school, leaving creepy notes. "You're mine now, Eleanor. Jack's gone." Fear gripped me like ice. One evening, he banged on our door, slurring threats. The kids hid in the closet, trembling. "Mama, is he gonna hurt us?" Billy whimpered. I called the police, but they dismissed it as harmless admiration. We packed that night, fleeing to Charlotte in the dead of night, the car rattling like my nerves. "Why do we have to run, Mama?" Lizzie cried, clutching her teddy. "To keep you safe, my angel, always safe." But inside, I was screaming at God, at Jack, at the world for abandoning us. Charlotte's townhouse was in a sketchy neighborhood, gunshots punctuating the nights like exclamation points of terror. I barricaded doors, taught the kids to hide under beds. My teaching job at an inner-city school was exhausting, kids with their own traumas mirroring mine. Billy had his first breakdown there, hyperventilating over a firecracker pop. "I can't breathe, Mama. Everything's falling apart." I held him, my own panic rising. "Breathe with me, baby. In and out. We're together." Sarah got into fights at school, defending our weird family. "They call us trash, Mama," she confessed, bruises blooming on her arms. Tommy sent money from odd jobs, but it wasn't enough. One Christmas, our tree was a branch with paper ornaments. The kids unwrapped socks and used books, trying to smile. "It's okay, Mama," Lizzie said bravely, but her eyes betrayed the hurt. We pressed on to Atlanta, a high-rise hellhole with elevators that smelled of urine. I subbed at various schools, my beauty fading under stress, dark circles, gray strands creeping in. Men still pursued, but now with pity. "Let me help you forget, Eleanor," a colleague offered. I refused, clinging to Jack's memory like a lifeline. Flashbacks tormented me. Our wedding night, dancing barefoot in the moonlight, lazy Sundays with kids piling on the bed, Jack's last words, "Love you, Ellie." I'd wake sobbing, the bed empty and cold. In Birmingham, Alabama, heat waves turned our rental into an oven. We fanned each other with newspapers, sweat mixing with tears. Lizzie fell ill with fever, no insurance to cover a doctor. I begged for help at a clinic, humiliated. "Please, she's all I have left," I wept to the nurse. She recovered, but the fear lingered. Billy's art became his escape, but his pieces were heartbreaking. Families torn apart, mothers alone in the dark. "This is us, Mama," he said softly, showing a sketch of me crying over bills. Memphis offered a brief respite, a quaint house where I taught for 3 years. The kids grew. Tommy, now 19, off to trade school, calling home with updates that made me proud yet ache. "I'm fixing cars like Dad," he'd say, voice cracking. Sarah, 17, aced her exams, dreaming of nursing. "To help people like us, Mama." Billy's talent blossomed, Lizzie's voice soared in choir. But Harlan reappeared, demanding debts. "You stole from us," he roared. I slammed the door, heart pounding, and we ran to Nashville, the cycle repeating. By my 40s, despair nearly broke me. In a dingy motel during one move, I stared at Jack's photo, whispering, "I can't do this anymore. Take me too." But the kids' faces pulled me back. Loyalty to them, to Jack's legacy, fueled me. No remarriage, no distractions, just us against the world. The turning point came slowly. Tommy landed a mechanic job in Dallas, marrying and starting a family. "This house is yours someday, Mama," he promised. Sarah became a nurse in Atlanta, her wedding a mix of joy and sorrow. I walked her down the aisle, feeling Jack's ghost beside me. "He's proud," she whispered through tears. Billy's art sold in New York galleries. He flew me there, treating me like royalty. Lizzie's music hit the charts in LA. Her first Grammy nod had us all weeping. In my 50s, they bought this Charleston home, a sanctuary with blooming gardens and ocean views. Grandchildren filled it. Tommy's son, Little Jack, with his grandpa's mischievous grin. Sarah's twins, wild and loving. Billy's daughter, sketching dreams. Lizzie's boy, humming melodies. Holidays are feasts of laughter, but shadows linger. "Tell us about Grandpa," they beg. I do, voice trembling, reliving the pain. At 65, comfort surrounds me. No more evictions, no hunger. My children made it so. Vacations, medical care, peace. But heart-wrenching? Every breath is. I visit Jack's grave yearly, laying flowers, whispering, "We survived, love, but oh, the cost." Tears fall freely now for the woman I was, the family we lost, the loyalty that saved us. Life's cruel, but love endures, even through the wrenching ache.
If you've experienced similar loss, share in the comments to encourage interaction.